All right, now we turn to the desperate search for survivors in Venezuela after last week's back-to-back earthquakes there. Death toll now stands at just shy of 2,000 people, and tens of thousands or more are still unaccounted for. The UN says 1.8 million people in the country are in need of humanitarian assistance right now. But amid all that devastation, there are brief glimmers of hope. This video shows the moment a Jordanian rescue team pulled a toddler from the rubble of a collapsed building Tuesday morning. That child, we understand, is now receiving care at a healthcare center in Caracas. We're joined now by Carlos Castillo. He's a senior advisor for Tidal Basin Group. That's an emergency management consulting firm. Thanks for being with us, Carlos. Help us understand what your team is doing and this, I guess, narrowing window of opportunity for rescuers to find people who are still alive.
Sure, Errol. And this is a difficult situation in Venezuela, just like it is following any major earthquake. What they're dealing with, the help they needed, and the help that they've received from really advanced capability teams that have hopefully let them know ahead of time. As you know, in trauma, there's a golden hour where, like following a car accident, if you get to a hospital and surgery within 30 or 60 minutes, there's a higher chance of survival. In urban search and rescue following building collapse from an earthquake, there's a golden day. So 24 hours after is that tight window. After that, the survivability rate starts to decrease. But personally, years ago, I started with this in 1988 earthquake in Soviet Armenia, where personally pulled someone out that had been trapped for 7 days. The point with that is that rescuers and people don't lose hope. Key, though, is getting to those victims, and you'll see footage of people working with heavy equipment to try to safely first identify with canines and other means, and then pull someone out from the wreckage and provide some initial medical treatment too.
How is it possible that a baby or an infant could survive this long?
So sometimes, it's one of the factors that's considered is age. And although the person I mentioned with 7 days trapped was 60 years old, infants and children have a much higher chance of survivability. A lot of that depends on any pre-existing conditions. It depends on the situation, how they're trapped, and then it depends on the environment. If it's very cold or very hot, the extremes could add to that.